What I want to talk about and do a practice on with today is something that is so central to the art and the work of self-healing, something that a quandary really that comes up almost constantly. And it's a surprising one, and it's around self-love and self-compassion. And why can't I seem to love myself? The common situation is I can give that to other people just fine. I can feel warmth and affection. I can be generous. I can offer the benefit of the doubt. Whatever it is, I can hold space and be there, show up for people just fine. But when I think about turning that inwards, that light beam, turning it around 180 degrees and directing it at myself, all kinds of things come up. Shame might come up. Self-hatred might come up. It's frankly, it's very ironic, and so many things on this path are, that self-love, self-compassion, they're actually triggering. When we turn that light beam in on ourselves, what starts to happen is parts of us that think we don't deserve it, or that it's egotistical, that it's wrong to want good things for yourself, or that it's boring and useless, or just another dumb thing. All kinds of different beliefs start to emerge from within. And those are parts of us, right, that are holding experiences that we've had where love was betrayed somehow, that led to a negative belief, what basically based on what does that experience I had say about me. This is something all children do, is every experience they have, it translates into what does this say about me in some way, because children are 100% self-referential. They're little narcissists. And so when we were children, all the experiences we had weren't just experiences. They landed in our nervous systems as communications about who we are, what we're worth, what this life is, what relationships are, how relationships go, and on and on and on. And when we start to think about loving ourselves, a lot of those experiences around how love goes start to emerge. Now, it's no secret that very few humans on this planet have really experienced unconditional love. Like no ulterior motive. Like the love not vanishing just because I'm in conflict with you or I disagree with what you did or because you dropped the ball. Doesn't change. Doesn't flicker, right? Love with no sort of agenda, no strings attached at all. So few of us have experienced that. And that is true, especially of the generations preceding us, right? That had less access to psychology and emotional intelligence, and certainly not trauma awareness like we have now. And so, it's easy for these distortions around love to get passed on through generations. And here's what conventional psychology says about being able to really love yourself. And I kind of agree. And there's a place where I depart, and we'll get to that. Is that in order for you to love yourself, in order for you to have healthy relationships, what's called secure attachment, healthy bonding, somebody had to model for you what that looks like at some point in your life. Somebody had to embody that, impart it on you, or at least allow you to witness it and experience it in some way such that you internalized some silhouette of what that looks like, feels like, and what the trajectory goes like. Because our brains can't know anything new. They are just like computers. They only know what gets programmed in. And so if nobody programmed that in for you, then how are you ever going to embody it yourself? Now, for trauma survivors, that truth is especially harrowing because for too many of the people that I work with, nobody really came through for them like that. And you might be watching this video and thinking to yourself, yeah, that's me too. Or maybe a couple of people, but then there was this betrayal or this painful experience, or they died, or something else went awry with that, such that, we might even sense like how it ended ruined the whole thing. We tend to do that. We tend to fixate on how things end. But here's the real teaching that departs from conventional psychology. The real thing I want to tell you is, even if that's true for you at a radical level, 100%, I've never experienced a love that felt healthy, secure, and clean from another person. The ship hasn't sailed. In internal family systems therapy, what I practice, what I teach people to do on themselves in meditation, all of the healing that goes on in that realm has to do with what we call self-energy, which correlates to Buddha nature in Buddhism. It's the uncontrived, open-hearted, unguarded, heartful state of love and compassion, curiosity, calm, clarity, creativity, connection, these sorts of things, right? And we tap into that self-energy inside. And the idea here, the truth, the experience that I have every day is we all have it. No matter who you are, no matter what you've been through, you have this thing called self-energy. It's what gives life to your system inside, quite frankly. And we can lose the experience of self-energy, but we cannot lose self-energy entirely. It just gets covered over. So that means we can always reclaim it. It can always be uncovered within us. But internal family systems doesn't stop there. It reflects another truth that is very much alive in Buddhism and all kinds of spirituality around the world, across cultures and time. That spark of life-giving property, of love and compassion, actually exists all around us, all over the place. The animals have it. Think about dogs for a moment. Dogs have self-energy. They have unbridled love and compassion in them. The trees have it. That the sky even has it. That the earth has it. That it's in the atmosphere. That there's a unified field of self-energy, actually. And you don't have to believe this. You don't have to believe this at all in order to benefit from it. But just entertain the notion for a moment, like you're at a movie and you're suspending disbelief so that you can follow along and enjoy the movie. Just hang with me for a moment. Because when it comes to the earth, we're not talking about a dead rock. We're talking about the thing that produced all the materials of the clothes on your back, the apartment that you're sitting in, house that you're sitting in, the microchips that make the device you're watching this on work. The earth is a lover that gives everything to us, and the earth is the most badass artist there is in existence. It's not a dead rock. Life does not come from dead rocks, and literally every cell in your body actually started out as the food that came from the earth that became your body. And so you are literally of the earth, and you are alive. Those cells in your body are alive, right? So you can suspend belief a little bit here if it seems too far out for me to say that the earth itself has this compassionate energy that we also have inside. Its reality is far more interconnected than we are even capable of imagining, really and truly. And so what that means, though, is there's what I call self-energy surrogates all around us. If we can't touch in on the heart of self-compassion, the heart of self-love, then we can actually access it in a number of different ways. It's directly all around us. And it's also right here in the breath. You know, in Buddhism, we first start our training by paying attention to the sensations of the breath in the nose. And it's the traditional teaching is, you know, that's a good place to anchor your attention. It's always with you. It's a moving target. You need that. Breath is soothing, etc. I think that there's more to the story there. Right now, if you start paying attention to the sensations in your nostrils as you breathe in and out, even as you're just listening and taking me in here for a moment, let me point out some things. There's a smoothness to that breath, especially if you slow it down just a little bit and you relax just a little bit with it. It glides in and out. It's offered. It's not guaranteed. But right now, it's generously offered to you. You did nothing to earn it. It's just self-existing. The earth generated it for you. It's life-sustaining. It's reliable. You can wander off, get as distracted as you want for hours and hours. You decide to come back and pay attention to the breath, it's right there waiting for you. And it has these properties to it that can really calm us and help us to steady. It's not just that paying attention to the breath is good because paying attention is good. It's that the breath has a lot of the same qualities as the earth, but it also has these qualities that we can allow to influence us. If we become aware of what those qualities are, as we're literally taking the breath in, those qualities can influence us. In fact, even just listening to me this last minute or so, you might be sensing there's some steadiness here for me. There's something I can rely on in my life here for me, waiting for me. There's something soothing and nurturing in the breath. And my friends, that is what healthy love is like. That is what healthy love is like. So the earth is holding that for us. The breath is holding that for us. I'm going to say one more thing. What we know from neuroscience is that the brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. And we can use that also. And some of the practices that I teach sometimes engage that on purpose, not to take us down some magical thinking rabbit hole, but to use it mindfully and skillfully to imagine like maybe there's a luminous being, a bodhisattva of resplendent wisdom with us, advising us on what we should do next, right? Or the Thich Nhat Hanh, actually a famous Zen Buddhist monk, rest in peace, my friend, talks about, inviting the Buddha, actually, who's already in you. Buddha nature is already in you. So you can invite the Buddha to drive a car or to go for the walk or to have the difficult conversation with a friend. And in his very cute Vietnamese accent, he would say, and the Buddha will come. The Buddha will come. Right? Your true nature is always with you. And that true nature is love itself. And so there's lots of different ways to invite it. Perhaps the least far out woo-woo, wishy-washy, the most evidence-based we could get here is those qualities of the breath. So close your eyes with me. We'll just take 3 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. But you don't have to arrange a posture or anything like that. You can also keep your eyes open. But take one breath, in the nose and out of the nose. The light, supple quality. You can let the breath go out and just pause in a moment of no breath. And you'll feel how the body itself wants you to breathe in. You can allow some spaciousness to the breath. There's a secure quality to the breath here. As you become mindful and receptive, begin to know that you are taking in that steadying, reliable, secure, life-giving quality. And you can let yourself love the breath back. Now for the last minute and a half, even if you're not totally with it yet, imagine it's so. That breath is secure love. And you're breathing it in. You're breathing it into your lungs. It's mixing with your blood, which every heartbeat is pushing that blood out to the extremities, to your limbs, fingers, toes. The love of the breath is spreading everywhere throughout your body at all times. You just haven't noticed it till now. And so if there's any part of you that's been stressed out, maybe fatigued, exhausted, done, right now I want you to think about that breath going to wherever that emotional part of you is inside. Imagine they're just sitting right here with you, feeling the breath, held by the breath. Permeated by the breath. So stay here as long as you like. If you're feeling the vibe, stay here as long as you like. There are a million more ways to do this too. There's earth energy meditations that you can do for free, I believe, on SoundCloud and Insight Timer. We should have some of those up. And there's lots of parts work meditations that you can do for free all over the place. I'm sure you're aware of that. These practices, this practice, and many of these self-energy surrogate practices are what I'll be teaching at Kripalu in a couple weeks here. And if you're in New York City, I'll be visiting there real soon too and offering some public teachings. I think the retreat offering is going to be especially powerful, but these individual workshops, we're going to get very focused on some specific issues such as addiction, early childhood wounds, and some other things. And it's all based on this. So it all comes down to the experience of love from within, right? In some way, even if you've got to rely on something from the outside first for a little bit. But that modeling of healthy love is there. Sometimes we just need somebody to open our eyes to it. All right, so thank you so much for your time and for your attention. Your attention is the most valuable thing on the planet. It is literally the most valuable thing on the planet. So thank you for offering it here. And may we each keep going towards the clear dawn of love and compassion. Thank you.